guys, we're back with another video, and today we're going to do the poo pie from the Help. It's a chocolate pie, and I've never tried it before, so we're going to make it together. And I've always been curious what it tastes like, so I am going to list the ingredients on the screen as I usually do. But let's get started. We're going to start with the dough. If you want to, you can go buy a pie crust, but for me, I'm not really into it. I would rather make mine. I think it would taste much better. So, and I don't have a pie, what's that thing for the pie? I don't know, so we're gonna use a fork. So, here's a half a cup of Crisco shortening. And you want it kind of cool because you want these to turn into little peas. I used to make these crusts with Aunt Piggy. She does it with her hands all the time. Here's a half a teaspoon of salt. Here is a teaspoon of sugar. Kind of moist. And you're gonna start with the fork and kind of just press it around until it turns into peas. Now, if you don't want to use Crisco, you can use butter, but butter is a little heavier, and I don't know that you'll get the same flaky that you'll get with Crisco. So, and you just keep doing this until they turn into little pea-sized pieces almost. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact science to it, but okay. So it is so hot. I hope everybody's weekend is going well. Mine was traumatic. Look at my thumbs. It's kind of cartoonish. Kitchen issues. Not one thumb, both. So I got them all doctored up and wrapped up. You don't want to use your hands to do this because it's going to heat over the Crisco, and then you won't get that because this is where the flaky comes in. And you're going to keep on doing this until there are no dry parts. They're all kind of combined into the dough. Okay, just like that. See how it's coming together crummy? And that's how you want it. Just work it a little more, and it'll pick it up as it goes. Oops, that's okay because I'm about to dump it out anyway. Okay, so now we're going to gradually add it. And you want your water cold because room temperature water just won't do, and neither will warm water. And just add a tablespoon at a time and incorporate it until you almost form a little bit of a ball. Not much, but a little bit. And today I decided to put parchment paper down because the mess, y'all, of shortening on the counter. And this island is particularly already a lot to wipe off. I'm not gonna put that in yet. So just like that. Let's form a little ball. One more. And this will make two, a top and a bottom, to a small pie crust, or it will make one nice 9-inch pie crust, like what the pan that I have. I don't know, is that a 9-inch or a 10-inch? Or a 10-inch?
I think it's 9.
Okay, so we have a ball. Let's grab that out of there. Before we do that, grab a handful of flour. Because flour does stick to any, or pie crust will stick to any surface. So, and don't worry about, you know, any mess if you put something down, because I just don't have to worry about cleaning anything up. Okay, so, here. Well, this is an easy dough to make. And if it's still too sticky, just add a little bit of flour, just a little bit at a time. Just like that. And we're all ready to make a ball. You start forming with the ball. That way you have a uniform piece when you roll it out to pour around the edges. Don't handle it too much, just raw. Just like that. Move this out of the way. Let's start like that. And then the next one we're just gonna roll. Yeah, that might not work well, but it's gonna have to because I just ain't cleaning up the mess. It's not even the mess from the flour, it's the shortening on the counter. It can be a mess to clean up. And you gotta wipe it off with cleaner so many times, and well, how I do it, and then you gotta go over it. It's just a mess. So be gentle. Turn it over. Probably should have done it this way so I can make it rounder. Those are my animals. One day we'll introduce them to you. We try, but one is kind of hard to get along with. Just like that. And you don't want it too thick, but you don't want it way, way thin. You know, just enough to fit in your pie crust. And some people use weights to because I'm going to par cook this. You don't have to if you like that gummy crust like it was store bought or something. But I'm cooking mine. You know what y'all want to do? It's your kitchen. Do it how you want to. And don't worry about the edges being shaggy. And that's what homemade dough looks like. Pie crust. Except the samosas are tragedy. Okay, but they came out tasting good.
I was gonna say, I don't know what you're talking about. I thought they were good.
They were the bomb. The crust, I'm talking about when I tried to fold them, it was it was a tragedy. I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny.
Well, I'm sure there's a technique that
Yeah, but I can't do it because
they do.
It was hard.
I know, it was hard.
Now you got a little less than a quarter of an inch thick, but you know what? If you want to make it thicker, you can do exactly that. And because my pie pan is so thick, I doubled the recipe. But the recipe I put on the screen is for a standard pie. And this is what you're gonna do: pick it up. Let me give it roll it. And lay it in the pan. Well, that's my laying techniques, guys, because I make pies all the time, every day. Look at this. Don't sweat the technique. Gosh darn it. Damn. I have to start over. I have to roll it out all over again. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. I'm sure it happens.
I don't know. I mean, what I did the other day does not happen, so it's always something with me. Don't worry, we'll get it together. And that's a part of my channel, though, is making mistakes and telling them about it.
Right. You don't want to be Miss Perfect. Or seem to be.
I do.
You don't want to portray yourself as Miss Perfect.
I mean, I might. No, everybody makes mistakes. Cooking mistakes. So. If you cook every day like I do, and pies are not something that I do every day. They're just not. You know what I mean? This is my first pie pan, in 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
And pies and cookies are just, I can bake a pie, but I'll tell you, cookies really are not my thing. What I might have to do, Mark, I might have to make another piece. I don't think it's going to fit over that.
It's going to have to be a bigger.
Yeah. So, you guys, let me measure out another pie crust, because this is, look at my pan. It's just not going to cover that. Make sure you know that. You know, I didn't know that her pans were going to come like that. That's
smaller diameter than the Pyrex.
Is it?
The Pyrex is 12 inch.
Well, but the depth is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It might be smaller diameter, but the depth of it, a Pyrex is not this deep. So my crust isn't. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for just a second. I'm going to do the same thing I just did, and I'm going to come back when it's all done. So, guys, let me get my crust, because I almost forgot. I'm going to just say this. If you're not used to cooking, I just want to be the first one to say that this is time consuming. This pan is not, it's your standard 9-inch, but it's not your standard, oh, look at my little piece of dough. It's not your standard, pie pan that stands out, the old school ones. This one is extra deep. It's about 1.5 inches. So I ended up having to make a double portion of the dough to so that it covered the pan proportionally. And I got fork marks. I'm not gonna put any beans or rice or anything to weigh that down. I'm just gonna put it in the oven because I'm not gonna cook it all the way. I'm gonna par cook it. So I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'm gonna leave it here while I'm mixing up the insides, the guts of the pie. And we're gonna let that go for about 15 minutes. It's a nice thick dough, dense. It should be fluffy when it's not fluffy, but you know, when you cut through it, it should have layers. So what we got here is pet milk, evaporated milk. So you need 2 cans of that. Well, you won't. If you're doing a standard pie, you won't need 2 cans, but I'm doing a double portion because of the pie pan. So there's that. And then we have 4 beaten eggs. But if you're going to do a regular pie, just follow the recipe on the screen that I put for you, because it's just a regular one, you know, regular pie. Please keep in mind that mine is double because of, you know, the pie pan. It's huge. And I got 3 cups of sugar, so you're only going to need 1.5 cups of that. You want to just start there. Make sure everything is room temperature so it can. I like room temperature cooking because it brings everything together. And you just want to, if you have a hand mixer, you can use it. I have a stand mixer, and I don't have a hand mixer. I sold it. But, you know, if you got enough arm power, just whisk. And to that, I have 1 stick of melted butter, which would be half a stick for a single portion. To that, I have 2 tablespoons of real and pure vanilla extract. You can use paste, you can use gel, you can use real vanilla from Mexico, but that's just vanilla from our local friendly Walmart. If you're making a single pie again, that would just be 1 tablespoon. So the recipe that I put in on the screen, if you want to double it, if you have a deep dish pie pan, you can, but just a regular one, I'll put that on the screen. Now, this is 6 tablespoons of cocoa, 100% cocoa. Just didn't seem important enough for me to get out the cake mixer. Yes, y'all, my arms get tired. So if you have a stand mixer and you want to use it, by all means, I wouldn't recommend anything else. It smells so chocolatey. My husband loves chocolate. That's why I'm doing it, because he's a chocolate lover. I'm not so much. I'm more into fruit, candies, you know, cakes and stuff like that, but fruit pies, but he really loves chocolate. And all this time I haven't done anything chocolate, so I told him to go ahead and do this because I'm curious. Well, you're going to beat this until it's smooth. When my pie crust is cooked, we're going to come back. I'm going to put this in for you so that you can see what it all looks like. So my crust is par cooked. I don't want to overcook it. I don't want it burned. This is cooked part of the way. So this is what it is. And if you don't need all of this, don't use it all. So that's if you don't need it all, don't use it all. So I'm kind of scared because this bowl is poured in here. Okay, just about right there, I would think. Right? I just did a double recipe. If you don't need a double recipe, don't do a double recipe. That might rise some, but you want to cook your pie on pop them bubbles. You want to cook your pie on 350 for 45 minutes, and if you're doing a double recipe, just double the time. So we're back with the finished product, and this is also the next day. I like to do my videos during the daytime, so we lost a little light last time because I had to finagle my crust a bit, but you want to cook this pie all the way through. All the way through. So Mark, you want to taste it for him?
Sure do.
Oh, okay. Go for it. That's the poop pie, y'all. Is it good?
It's really good.
Can I have a fork? You know I want to taste. Y'all know I always need my own fork. Okay.
I was expecting something a little different, but it's actually
Because in everybody's thoughts, it's a silk pie.
Yeah.
Or a pudding pie, and that's the crust that came out the pan.
it's far from that.
It's not. It's an egg custard, a chocolate egg custard pie.
Right.
So you're not gonna get, you know what I mean? That is good.
I know.
Shut up. It's even got texture.
Miss Minnie knew what she was doing.
I mean, Minnie needed help. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she did. I did tell you about the terrible, awful. Okay. So there you guys have it. I'm gonna take another bite. Do you mind? Okay.
Right.
Ooh. It's bomb. You guys have it. Eat my shit pie. We love it. Try the recipe. It's absolutely good. And if you do try it, tag me and let me know you tried it. And well, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm about to have a pizza pie. Bye.